So you're thinking about moving to Leominster, Massachusetts. And before I move on, it's not Leominster, it's Leominster. Trust me on that. So I don't know if you're moving from out of state, out of the country, different part of Massachusetts, moving to Central Mass. This video is going to be talking about Leominster as a whole. Like, is it a city? Is it rural living? Is it both? Like, what's in Leominster? What's the real estate market like in Leominster? Does it have a lot of restaurants? Does it have a lot of grocery stores? Like, what's the population? So we're going to get into that. But before we move on into that, I am a licensed realtor. My office is actually based in Leominster. One of the locations. I'm with Leominster Realty, growing pretty rapidly. But yeah, if you have any questions about Leominster as a whole or the surrounding areas, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to answer your questions. So let's move on to the overview of Leominster as a whole. I got some notes here to keep me on track because I tend to go off track a lot. So Leominster has a population of about 43,500 people, which is one of the bigger populations, one of the bigger cities in central Massachusetts. Obviously, number one, Worcester. Worcester is the number one most populated city in central Mass. It's, I think, number two in New England, potentially 2 or 3, something like that. So yeah, Worcester's a big city, but Leominster is one of the tops in central Mass. So it is a city, but there are a lot of rural neighborhoods. There's a lot of neighborhoods in the hills. There's neighborhoods with, different styles of homes, like ranches, colonials, capes. Leominster has it all, honestly. And there's a lot of neighborhoods in Leominster that are within minutes of the center of town. And the center of town has restaurants, various restaurants, coffee shops, pizza places. It's got CVS. It's quite busy, to be honest. It flows pretty well. It's a nicely designed center of town in terms of just traffic in general, so you're not gonna be pulling your hair out. And Leominster, I think the reason why it's one of the bigger populated cities in Central Mass is because it's close to major routes. It's close to Route 2. It's right off of Route 2. Route 2 runs right through Leominster. It's close to Worcester. It's like 20 minutes from Worcester. And Leominster's also close to Route 190, so that goes south through Worcester and then merges into 395, I believe, near Connecticut. Or no, in Worcester. So it's got access to the major routes. So if you work out near Boston, you can just easily zip onto Route 2 and head to Boston. If you work in Worcester, you can easily go onto 190 and get to Worcester. It's close to all that stuff. And like I said, there's also the country living aspect. There's a lot of neighborhoods that are in the woods. There's neighborhoods that are more populated and homes are closer to being on top of each other. So you kind of get a mix of everything. In Leominster, you get the city life and you get the rural/woodsy type of life if you want to be in the woods. It's right in the border of Fitchburg, which is another city in Central Mass. It's one of the bigger populated cities as well in Central Mass. And so they're right next to each other. They kind of go hand in hand with each other. They've always been kind of close-knit. Fitchburg was more of a factory town, I believe, back in the day. So that's another city that's right next door is Fitchburg. And you also got some woodsy towns surrounding Leominster. You got Princeton, which is the home of Mount Wachusett. So that is very country and woodsy. It's not too populated, Princeton. It's a very nice town. You're touching Lancaster, which is it's still a rural town. It's a little more city-like. It's not really a city, but it's more city-like than Princeton. It's right next to Leominster, and if you're a fan of ice cream and Kimball's, I don't know if you've heard of that, but Kimball's is located, one Kimball's I should say, is located in Lancaster, right off of Route 2 actually, so I highly recommend Kimball's. Lancaster, it's got like Sterling, which is another nice town right near there. It's just close to almost everything. It's almost in the center of the state, like directly in the center of the state geographically, but it's not quite there. Rutland holds the title for that, which is geographically the center of Massachusetts. I want to talk about how much there is to do in Leominster. I've already mentioned the restaurants. There's various restaurants spread throughout the city. There's franchises like Applebee's and Longhorns and Chili's. Those are all kind of in plazas. Yeah, so there's various plazas. So the franchises are more located in the plazas. If you want to get the original type of restaurants, at the top of my head, that's the center of town. You got like Brady's restaurant. That's its own establishment. It's not a franchise. You got the Columbia Tavern. You've got some local pizza shops that aren't franchises right in the center of town. So if you're looking for something that's not franchised, then the center of town's your best bet. And I'm sure there's a couple more. I can't think of it at the top of my head, but yeah, there's many restaurants. There's various grocery stores like Market Basket is very popular. There's a Hannaford in Leominster. They're building a Whole Foods. That's gonna be in a plaza with right across the street from like McDonald's and the Leominster Hospital. So there is a hospital. It's officially owned by UMass, I believe, at this point, at UMass Memorial. It was Leominster Hospital Health Alliance. Now it's UMass Memorial, I think, at Leominster. So it's a full-size hospital. There's a golf course. You would think a Leominster would have like more than one golf course, but I think there's only one golf course. But there's close to many golf courses. There's skiing close by. You got, like I said earlier, Mount Wachusett. That's a popular skiing destination in Massachusetts because there's not like a ton of mountains in Massachusetts. So Mount Wachusett probably is 10, 15 minutes away if you're in the center of Leominster. So you got skiing, snowboarding. There's some popular lakes nearby. Like if you're looking for some lake life, like Ashburnham, a couple towns away, there's like 25 lakes there, it feels like, but there's not actually 25, but there's various lakes in Ashburnham. There's Webster Lake, which if you just go on Route 190 to Worcester, it's like 50 minutes away, 45, 50 minutes away. That's like the biggest, I think, freshwater lake in Massachusetts. Webster Lake, that's actually not the proper name. It's like some Native American name. It's like 45 letters. I can't even pronounce it. I'll put it up on the screen. So you got various lakes around it. You're an hour, a little less than an hour from Boston. You're close to New Hampshire. Winnipesaukee is like 2 hours away. There's just, it's in the center. It's just located near many different things. So it's in a great location. And I want to wrap up talking about the real estate prices. So as we all know, I've mentioned 45,000 times that the housing market has been crazy. There's still very limited demand, which increases prices because there's more people bidding on one home in particular. So I did some research on the Leominster market. So home sales this year in Leominster specifically are down 32% compared to this time last year. So they're down 32% compared to July 29th of 2022. And we thought last year was relatively low inventory. This year, 32% less in Leominster. The average sale price as of July 29th in Leominster compared to July 29th, 2022. So 2022, $435,229 was the average sale price in July 2022. 2023, $462,514. So it's increased $27,000 on average. I should have did the percent, like how much percent increase that is. So it's increased due to the lack of inventory. And the average list price, this is interesting. 2022 is $415,000 basically. And 2022 is $448,000. The average sale price in 2022 was $435,000. The average list price was $414,000. The average sale price this year, $462,500. The average list price, $448,000. They're listing homes higher in Leominster, but it's not selling for the percent that it was last year. But yet, average sale price is up because of the lack of inventory. So Leominster, it's more pricey than its counterpart, Fitchburg, which is right next door, another city. So if you're looking for something that's woodsy in city at the same time, Leominster is a great spot for that. Like I said, it's close to so many different things. It's close to the major routes, so you have easy access to many different directions if you work in Worcester, if you work out near Boston, if you work in southern New Hampshire. It's close to all of those things. You have many different activities around in the area. Like I said, golf courses, you got many restaurants, you're close to like Maine. Maine's an hour and a half away. The southeastern part of Maine, like Algonquin, that type of thing. Not far from Connecticut, Rhode Island. It's in a great location, honestly, just surrounded by many different things. So if you're looking for if these prices don't scare you, if you're looking to move to Leominster, I mean, it's a nice place to live if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for woodsy and kind of a city life, it's kind of got the best of both worlds. Yeah, if you're interested in Leominster or even just the surrounding towns, I can help you out with your search. You can reach out to me, go down in the description. Tell me what you're looking for. We can go back and forth and I can try to figure out what works best for you and where exactly it is I can help you best. Appreciate you tuning in. I will be trying to do a video for each one of the towns that I actively work in. That's gonna be a process, but I'm looking forward to it. And I'm not sure if I want to add B-roll and stuff to these videos. Like, that's a lot of work in itself, like physically driving to every town and getting a video of different neighborhoods and stuff. That's a lot of work. I do have some active Leominster neighborhood tours already. I can link a couple of those in the description. We're going to think about it, and I hope to improve each one of these videos as we go on and try to give you the best information possible. Because at the end of the day, you want to make a sound decision where you buy your next home. I hope this was helpful. Like I said, reach out if you have any questions, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.